What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for hanging out and waiting in there. Shout out to the couple people that are in here so far. Lewis, Shadow Rabbit, Clay Guy, Real Rude 6, and Jason Claiming Comics. Thank you guys for hanging with us and waiting. We had a little bit of a delay. One guest may be a little late tonight, but we're going to start. So tonight we have the writer and artist of this awesome Kickstarter comic, Voodoo Nations, with us. Issue 1 and 2 are available on Kickstarter right now. We got about 6 days left in the campaign, and this one, sitting behind me, issue 1 right here, that I got from Pensacon when I met the writer, Travis Gibb. So please welcome Travis Gibb, and then hopefully later on we'll get to welcome Luke Stone into the stream.
Yes, hey, Luke is missing. I don't know where he is.
He'll be here or not. We'll still have a good time talking.
We'll figure it out. But I have a question before we start. That's very important. So It says indie comics, Marvel figures specifically, like screw Todd McFarlane through DC, Marvel specifically, and then nerd stuff.
I mean, gotta love a good Spider-Gwen statue.
Okay, all right.
I got some Spider-Man is kind of like the Spider-Verse is kind of my thing. So if there were more statues of indie kind of things, I would be probably having those. But I actually have Lewis, the guy that's in the chat, Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy. He makes some clay statues.
That's from which?
This is from Noctera.
Oh, okay. And let me tell you a funny story about Noctera. I literally had 2 issues and 1 page written that is almost the same plot. But of course, he does it better. Oh, that's awesome.
Her visor also lights up.
Oh, nice. With the blue or the...
It's like the halo kind of effect. Oops, if I were to screw this the right way instead of unscrewing it.
Oh, okay, nice.
So that's like, how she has it in the comic.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, that same idea going and then boom.
Yeah. So I was writing a story. It was going to be called Yellow. And it was about, the world went dark and, people were trying to find a yellow area, and Yellowstone National Park was this yellow area, and they were going. But it was the same motif, everything was neon lights and Christmas lights hanging up everywhere, and people were going crazy because of the lights. There was no monsters, but this exact same idea. So Scott Snyder ripped me off, and he's a better writer, so I got to let him do it.
Well, it's interesting that idea. I feel like that's like a idea that pops up, darkness coming in, and
right,
manifesting in that way. That's interesting.
The more thing was the look and the aesthetic of the book, right, with the flashlights and the neon signs. Like I was like, because a lot of people have done the world went dark, but it was the look of that. So I was watching. What is it called? Give me a minute. It's Summer. How do you say it? It's a horror movie that's set in the daytime.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's Summer something or.
It's SOMMER.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to Google this.
Right.
Someone in the chat maybe.
It's Summer something.
Midsummer.
That's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, in the beginning of that movie, it's all dark, and I thought it was like going to be a dark world, and this was the one sun place, and that's where I came with the idea. I was like, "Oh, that's cool."
That's awesome.
Hey, Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan, new guy on Instagram and Cosmic Campfire over here.
Oh, he's a new follower for you guys.
Oh no, he's it's N. I think he goes by it's NEUX.
Yeah.
On
news guy, right? Yeah.
Oh, see, I always pronounce it as new guy. I'm thinking like So we'll talk about this when we're talking about the story. But I live in New Orleans,
Right.
So I was hearing it in like the Go new, like all the the way that they stylize like the Go Tigers or Saints or
Right.
whoever. Yeah, that's how I was hearing his name in my head.
I love New Orleans, and hence why issue 2 is set in New Orleans.
Yeah. So let's tell the listeners what Voodoo Nation's about, and then we'll get into a little bit about your background in comics.
Yeah. So what Voodoo Nations is about 2 missionaries. They go to Brazil, and in Brazil they meet up with a voodoo priest called Bishop Lucas. Through a series of events, their world gets messed up. Their marriage gets a mess. One of them dies and gets resurrected. It's a crazy thing. That's not really a spoiler. She literally tells you in the first page. So,
yeah.
But they escape at issue 2. They escape and they think that they've kind of gotten away from it and their troubles are kind of gone. But they realize that it follows them. That voodoo is thing. Hence, Voodoo Nations, not Voodoo Nation.
Yeah.
So it follows them in New Orleans, and they meet a different voodoo priest there, and what voodoo's like, and as they're trying to put the pieces together of this crazy scenario that happened.
Yeah, and I like on the back of the book when it kind of gives its little snippet description.
Yeah,
it starts out with what is the cost of a soul, because that seems
right.
a big driving force behind where I can see the story going, and the consequences of his resurrection.
Yeah, I really so the concept of the book for me, it really wanted to delve into missionaries. Everyone talks about especially when you do like a Christian comic or read a Christian comic, they go to some place and everything's great. But no, it's not like that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
As we're going, I'll drop the link a few times in the description, but I'll drop it into the chat for people to go check out the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and in fact, if you follow me on Twitter, Jester Lou, I posted today my mail link. Like I gave away the first issue. If you want to read the first issue, it's in that link, but you got to find it. So, because to digital viewers, because I really think that you guys will like it if you check it out. So, what I wanted to tackle is missionaries who get it wrong. Right? They go to these worlds and they think they know everything, but they don't. They don't know anything about these areas, and the mistakes of that happen. And then I really wanted to play with the opposite of the normal situation. So they're being assaulted. You take a normal horror movie and they're like, oh, they're the victims. They're the victims. I kind of wanted to play that on its head with missionaries, where they kind of caused it, right? She made a decision to resurrect her husband. Spoiler, I even went further. And what does that look like going forward in dealing with all these things as they go forward? What it looks like and how it affects their marriage and everything. And one of the things that if you're a Christian and you follow Christianity, a lot of times when you're helped with a bad thing, like someone in your family dies or something bad happens, you never go to the source where you're supposed to do, right? You're taught your whole life to pray or do this. You never do that. You get angry and mad, and I'm kind of dealing with those. I want to show a repercussion, and it's religious based, but so isn't The Exorcist. So don't expect like crazy preaching.
Yeah, it starts out like focused on Christianity because that's
right.
what their mission work, but at least in the first issue, it takes a turn from that as we get into like the voodoo side of things and more of like the native heritage for the land.
Right. Exactly.
Which I thought that was cool, and I feel like they're going to try to come back to their mission work in the next book, but with some consequences.
Well, and the second one is still dealing with the repercussions of issue 1, so they're still dealing with it. They try, but the second book really has only like small little messages about religion. Like it's really not in issue 2. And going forward, like it's going to go back and forth where it's less and less and a little bit more. It's kind of a pendulum that'll swing back and forth. But the goal was to tell these things. The story kind of came up when I went to New Orleans. So my mom went to AA when she was 13, when I was like 13. And, you know, she recovered, alcoholic, everything. But then my mom died. Well, I never didn't drink or any of that thing. So I call my brother up and say, hey, I'm really sad about my mom dying, because my mom died just on a whim. She actually had a surgery on her back, and she had not taken alcohol or drugs in her for such a long time. They had her on painkillers. She was feeling odd. They couldn't, and everyone was like, it's just because you haven't been on painkillers. You haven't been on painkillers. You haven't been on painkillers. Well, actually, she had something burst in her, and she died. And it was sipping like stuff inside of her. Yeah, this got dark, guys. We'll get back to fun, I promise. But so I took my brother, went to New Orleans, and we were drinking, and it was funny. You know, I was thinking about, like, this is the exact opposite of what my mom would ever want. I'm having a great time, but like grief messes with your mind when you're hurting. You know, and everybody who's, you know, if you haven't had a death in the family, like, think of a breakup. All the stupid things you think or try to do when you're in a breakup, it's the same stuff, just on a bigger world. So I kind of wanted to share what it's like that, you know, and kind of a perspective of what my wife may have been thinking of me when I was going through this weird, not me phase, trying to figure it out, you know, accept the reality of what is going on.
That's a lot to bring into the birth of the idea of this comic.
Right.
And I can see that exactly playing out, though, with our main characters.
Yeah. Right in the second issue, you see him drinking right on the plane. Like, if you read the preview, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and even her, like, immediate reaction when he dies.
Yeah.
How can I bring him back? Like, how can I fix this?
Right.
I don't want to accept that this has happened.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy dealing with that stuff and having a cool villain. You know, the design for Bishop Lucas, I wish Luke was here to talk about him. He's just such a cool design.
Yeah. I'll show, you know, on the cover here.
Here, I'll actually show a really cool one. Let me show you.
Got the whole portfolio of them there.
Yeah. We did very good on the first Kickstarter. A lot of people really dug it. So we have all sorts of store variants and stuff. But this is Stan Yak. If you don't know Stan Yak, he did a bunch of stuff for Source Point Press. There's a version of it.
Oh, yeah, that one.
It's such a beautiful cover. That's my favorite.
Definitely. Yeah. So the image I used for the background and the thumbnail for this, I saw from the first Kickstarter page, but I never saw that end up in the comic.
Correct. So this is a different book.
Oh, interesting.
So we did a crossover. There was another Voodoo book that was out at the same time. Oh. And we did a crossover cover. You know, they were in issue 1 and we were in issue 1, so we did a crossover cover. That's
awesome. Okay. Because I was almost wondering if this guy was going to play into issue number 2. Because he didn't.
You were hoping, huh?
he has a little bit more of a New Orleans vibe to him.
Right. No, Maria's the main character. You know, the girl that you have in there, and her right there in the chair. Mm-hmm. She's the main character, but there is another voodoo priest that appears, but you don't see him till the end.
Okay. Kind of giving us a hint to the future.
Yeah, I've been fascinated with New Orleans my whole life. I was a huge Gambit fan. So, like, it was always, like, excited to go there and do that stuff. You know, I just got my first chance to go a couple of years ago. Loved it, had a blast. Want to go again. And I got to tell you, it's really hard to write Cajun.
Yeah.
Right, because there's no right or wrong way to do it. There's just, there's a wrong way to do it, but there's no right way necessarily to do it.
Yeah, that is true. Each person's going to have it a little bit different than the next.
Right, and you don't want to write them uneducated, right? You don't want them to say too many this and that and all that. You don't want to make them sound uneducated, because I think when you're reading it on the page, you're reading it in your own voice. So if you use too much of that, they sound uneducated.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So before you did this story on Kickstarter, you had Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies.
Correct. Yeah.
There was one more, I believe, also right in there.
One more Kickstarter, or
one more story Kickstarter in there.
So I've done a lot of Kickstarters. So there's 4 issues Broke Down, and then I did a thing called Parallels. You thought about that?
What I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, Parallels. What that is I do a lot of shorts all over the internet. So I'll do. Thanks, man. Yeah, the character is his design is really, really good. In fact, actually, what I'll actually even show you the character design for issue 3. She's even cooler. But I do. Parallels is like my short stories, so I do a tons of stuff. I've written for Image, I've written for Caliber, I've written for a whole bunch of different companies doing short stories, and I compile those once or twice a year in a book called Parallels. So they're just my short little stories.
Awesome. So how did you first decide to get into writing comics?
Yeah, so for me, I come from a film background. So I came to Florida. I'm born and raised in New Hampshire, and I came to Florida to break into film school. So I looked at like the world, and I was like, okay, so film is really popular in California, and it's really popular in New York. So I'm going to go to Florida where there's less films, so I can be ahead. Because when you're looking at TV from a kid perspective, we had. At my age group, we had Nickelodeon. All the Nickelodeon shows were filmed there. All the Disney parades and all that were done. So all the Disney specials were done there. So I was like, oh, so I'll just go there. So I'm at a better pot. So I'll have a better chance. But by the time I got here, they were all gone. All gone. But I loved comics. Where I was born in New Hampshire is in Dover, New Hampshire, which is where Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird created the Ninja Turtles. So growing up, I saw them at local comic book shows. I saw them on a regular basis. So for me, indie comics weren't like foreign or strange, I'm a little bit older. I'm in the close to the 40 range. So like Image was big, all that stuff was, I went through all that stuff, growing up. So for me, I really wanted to create indie comics. So I went to MegaCon one year and I met up with a guy who did a book called Government Bodies. His name is Stefan Nielsen. He now works for Aftershock. He does their marketing director, but he's worked for DC. He's done a whole bunch of things, bunch of small things you never heard of, but he's done a bunch. So I met up with him and started creating, a book for him. I did a 4-page backup for him, and then I got the bug and did a whole bunch of small little anthology pieces trying to work my way into comics.
Awesome. So is that the kind of the start of where you got the short stories for Parallels?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, some of them are in there. Yeah. So I did a 4-page backup for him. Then are you familiar with a book called Negative Burns?
I am not.
So you should be. So as an indie guy, if you want to know where the history of indie comes from, read Negative Burns. So Negative Burns is the start of Neil Gaiman, Brian Michael Bendis, Matthew Wagner, all these people who are making waves now, all started Negative Burn. So for me, writing a Negative Burn was like the best thing in the world. Like I was like, I'm clearly as good as Brian Michael Bendis and Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore, because all of them wrote in that stuff. And you can find the issues pretty cheap, but you'll get all sorts of really cool, rad stuff.
Wow. Caliber Press?
Caliber Press, yeah. But it went to Image later on.
Okay. Awesome.
I was in the Image years, not the Caliber years. But the Caliber years is where you'll find the Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, all the classic stuff.
Nice. Welcome in, Firehawk.
Hello, Firehawk. 2069.
2069. It's awesome. So that's a good way to get in. Just start writing things here and there, and before you know it, you're making it.
Well, I took it. So I did it for, probably a good solid 10 years trying to make my way that. And then I had a kid. I had a daughter, and I really wanted to focus on being a dad. So I kind of dropped everything. I had started working on, it's kind of funny. I had started working on that first issue of Brokedown that you have behind you. Mm-hmm. That's why you see the art get so much better in issue 2 and 3, because that was done in 2007. So that was done in 2000. Oh, you got the double sign. I remember that. Where I was like, look at this. I got a double sign. Or no, you went up to Kyle, right?
Carl Moline signed it. Yeah, I went up and talked to him.
Did he send you your thing yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? He will. I promise you, he's good for it.
Those two back there, too.
Yeah, and that's a Rich Woodall. That's the guy from number 2. That is Electric Black fame. If you're a Scout fan, that's an Electric Black.
That's the artist?
Yep.
Nice.
Rich Woodall. And then issue 3 is a homage cover to 100 Bullets, if you love Image.
Yeah. And then issue 4, you just wrapped up production.
I just wrapped up. I actually don't think I have one in my vicinity. I have one that I can probably show you, but I don't have it in my vicinity right now. Yeah, I don't have one on me.
So that one,
yeah, we just wrapped it up. We just started shipping them out, so people will start seeing them right now. We just finished, and that ends that whole thing.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it out of 4. And Voodoo Nation planned for 4 as well.
4 as well. Yeah. We'll have another one. So this one is done. It's 100% done. In fact, if you are itching to read it, I can send you a copy. Not you fans. You guys got to do the digital copy. The digital copy. But we're done. We're all ready. We're doing some edits and some colors, changing, adjusting. But it'll be ready to go to the printer, within a week of ending the campaign, within the week of the end of the campaign.
Wow.
So you will get the book probably 2 or 3 weeks after that. So I'm pretty fast. When I go to Kickstarter, one of the things that I pride myself on is it's done.
Yeah.
I don't like to put you a book. I'm not having you pay for my art most of the time. It's normally done or very close to done before I go to Kickstarter.
That's awesome. That means not a lot of wait time like some comics. You are waiting for them to wrap up the art and different pieces of it still. So yeah. That's really cool. And I saw on the Kickstarter page you have kind of like a year by year of the projects that you've put out.
Yeah. I wanted to show that I can produce, right? So I can do stuff. So I think it's important to show your track record, on what you go stuff. Voodoo Nations is a really special to us because it's got project we love. But, I've done, 8 Kickstarters since 2018. I did 4 last year, and I plan on doing 5 this year, 5, maybe even 6 this year. The other one that we talked about that we didn't, the other one that we didn't talk about is this baby.
Yeah.
Cthulhu Invades Oz. So this is a big deal. And this is actually available on Indiegogo.
I got my
you got the glow in the dark fanciness.
Yeah. What's better than a glow in the dark Cthulhu? Come on.
Right? So I got literally the best people I know in the industry. So anybody who I could find, I put in there. So people, Jonathan Hendrick from The Recount, Dave Byrne from Stake. I've got, if you're a Source Point guy, I've got, what's his name? Struggling here. I don't know what's going on today. Kurt Belcher from that. I got Jonathan Crowther, if you like any of the wrestling comics. Hey, man, how are you? Who else is in here that's kind of well known?
You had the forward in there by David Pepose, who actually has
David Pepose, yeah.
And who was there was an actor by somebody too, wasn't there?
No, it's not an actor. It's the guy who wrote
an after. Sorry.
Oh, the afterward. Yeah. That guy, the guy who wrote the after he's a historian of Cthulhu.
Oh, interesting. The name sounded familiar, maybe because.
Well, we got Richard Rivera in here. He does, all the Stabby Bunny stuff. We got a bunch of people in here. David Galliano from Savage Bastards, Stoney Williams from Villainous. We got basically the who's who of indie comics here, and then the next one's just as big. I would say even bigger on the names that we've got for the next one.
And I love the Yellow Brick Road fame there at the end.
Yeah.
I have Jonathan, I have you, and then David have all signed from Pentacon. So that was kind of cool that 3 of the creators on this were right there hanging out together at the Scout booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool story in that, like, it was one story, but it was all these different people telling that story in different ways and different little mini stories.
Yeah,
So really,
it definitely has a beginning, middle, and end. But we allowed people the freedom to kind of tell the story that they would tell. And even when we do Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, which is the next one, it's actually a little bit more detailed because we've kind of talked about it. We're doing a civil war. So there's going to be a mad side and a loyal side, and people are going to pick sides, and you're going to see a big giant war, and it's going to be fun.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to when that comes out. Is that going to be the next planned Kickstarter, or is there going to be
the next plan? So the next two are Expired, which is a sci-fi story that I wrote, and then after that, there is a book called Granite State Punk, which is a punk rock story, kind of mixing the best of Voodoo Nations and the best of Broke Down. So all the language from Broke Down and the horror from Voodoo Nations smashed into one.
Awesome.
Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, they take about a year to make. We just finished pencils, so everybody finished pencils. So they've got a month to do inks and then 2 months to do colors because colors take a while. So we'll probably be ready towards the end of the year, and then we'll make the decision: do we do a November, December launch, or do we do it in January?
Awesome. Well, looking forward to when that happens, and looking forward to these other ones.
Yeah. I'm a hardworking guy. Like, I'm the hardest working guy in indie. Like, I always have something coming out. I'm always working on something new. Trying to do something for various publishers. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and so the Orange Cone Publications, that is your kind of publication.
Yeah, that's me and my wife. Yeah. Normally, the rule of thumb is if it's in there, I don't publish other people's stuff, but I publish anything with my name in it as a writing credit. So, my wife may be publishing something later this year, and one of our partners, the guy who does our lettering, Jerome Gagnon, he has something that may come out, but most of it will have at least some sort of writing, some sort of credit with the last name Gibb.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. So the logo. This was going to be a question for Luke actually, but maybe you'd be able to answer this one too.
Sure.
The logo. I love the design on it, and I'm a sucker for a good title splash page. So I think the first one that really got me was Something's Killing the Children, flipping through, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Something's Killing the Children, right?
Covering both pages. And you guys have something similar. I'll try to pull it out here and show the people watching. But I love the detail on the logo that then is on the splash page there.
Yeah, that's actually created by our letterer.
Okay.
So, little Easter egg too that you may like to know. If you guys are music fans, all of my comics have a band associated with them. So,
interesting.
See the sub line?
Where's?
It's a Kind of Magic.
Oh, It's a Kind of Magic. Yes. Sorry, I'm staring right at it.
Right. Sure. Do you know what band that is?
I am gonna fail this trivia question.
It's only one of the best bands of all time. Not even just me, ego. It is one of the best bands of all time.
I'm totally Googling right now.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Is it Queen?
It's Queen. Yes.
Finish Googling. I see a QU and I'm like, it's Queen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Queen. So all the stuff for this series is Queen. Broke Down. You'll have to find your own, but you'll do it. Yeah. They stuck with the splash page. I wanted to do a movie. I wanted Voodoo Nations to feel like a movie, and it's written like a movie. We're doing a world trekking movie, kind of like I don't know what. I guess best would like the Mummy, right? He goes all across Egypt fighting this one guy. We're doing the same thing. We do Voodoo Nations, starts in Brazil, goes to New Orleans. Issue 3 brings us to Mexico. So for Day of the Dead, and then we'll be back to finish it all off, back to thing. I have no idea where Luke is, though. I apologize.
Oh, that's no worries. It does have a very cinematic feel to this, the logo popping up there, and I think that's why, and it started to happen more and more, I feel like, in comics that we get that type of splash title page, which I love it. So if everyone else wants to keep doing it and hopping on the train, I'm all on board for that.
My favorite is the AWE stuff, where they make the AWE gives it like that. Sorry, you froze for a minute. The AWE gives it that, like, they always make you take a like scenery sign and like add their logo and stuff to it.
Lost the balance there. There we go. Yeah, definitely though, the cinematic vibe and the just kind of like, bam, this is what's happening. Like that's what I like from that effect. So you said, obviously we know New Orleans we got next, Mexico for Day of the Dead afterwards. Do you have
if you want to see, let me show you the let's reveal the Day of the Dead Voodoo Queen.
Ooh.
She's pretty cool. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I've never seen that warning before. It came up. This would be easier on 2 screens. I guess it would, but I don't have to. Thank you very much.
Would you like to install the second string out of nowhere?
Right.
There we go. Oh,
so there she is. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you. It's getting smaller. How is that possible? Maybe I zoom in the other way? No, that's the big you're going to get, but she's got a sugar skull on her face. That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
She's got kind of a Star Wars vibe to her.
Yeah, like the way the robes are going there.
But yeah, she's going to be really, really cool. We're going to really tackle a lot of the Day of the Dead stuff in that one. So there's some really cool stuff with her. We're going to deal with her, and we're going to deal with a really cool spirit that we introduce in this issue. I'll show you guys that too, since I can't enlarge this one. Give me a second to find it.
Yeah, I'll take that out for a second while you do that.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't follow me around anyways. Yes, Jason. Exclusive previews all day long.
Yeah. So we've got locations for the first 3. Do you have a location set for the 4th one yet?
So the 4th one, we're going back to Brazil. Like, spoiler alert, we got to go back. We got to deal with what happened from issue 1.
That makes sense. We got to get back to what started everything in the first place, kind of thing.
Yeah. We got to go back to the horror, go back to where it all went down. So we really wanted to bring it back to where it is. One of the things that I know is that people ask me a lot. They're like, Bishop is not a voodoo term, right? When you listen to voodoo, you get like Brother Voodoo, or you get like, that was done on purpose, and we kind of reveal some of that stuff.
Okay.
So if you're paying attention, I am a good writer and I do research. I didn't just name a random thing.
Yeah, and here's just to show everyone. Here's the Kickstarter page. Have hit goal, but there is a blanking on the word I'm looking for. Stretch goal.
Stretch goal, yeah.
200 unlocks some digital comics. It looks like we've hit. There's another stretch goal for 5,000. That'll. I forgot what that was. More pages, more pinups.
Yeah, so at 5,000, I'm going to add 4 more pages. That'll include a couple of pinups, a little bit of story. It'll add probably another 1 page of story, and it'll also add a cover gallery. Because we had so many covers for issue 1. Like, this is full of just Voodoo Nations covers.
Wow.
So people want
15?
What's up?
Like 15 in one of those boxes?
Yeah. It's actually it's 15 in here, 15 different covers, and people are starting to hunt them down. Like, there's ones that I don't even have. We had there was one that got damaged in transit. So, but she got it and she sold a couple of good ones from it. So we didn't make the exact same cover. So we made a different cover, just a slight variation of the logo. So there's that, but I've never got it. I've never received it. I don't own a copy. You could only get it from Space Cadets in Texas.
Wow.
So we wanted to kind of, for people who want to hunt these things down and get them, we wanted to make that available.
That's awesome. Lots of good covers out there too, especially like you were showing the one earlier, the Stan Yak one. That one's real cool.
Yeah.
And then for this round, we've got some. This is the cover A here.
That's the cover A. Yep.
And then there's the B and C, which are day and night variants of each other.
Yeah. So what we do to make Voodoo Nation specials, we always have a day and night variant. So that's the day and night variant for two. I can show you guys the day and night variant for one. Actually, I think it's further down, but I can bring it out of this stack here.
I can bring you back up here. Yeah, I like that one's right there on Bourbon Street too. Yeah.
So this is the Christ Redeemer statue. We did kind of a day and night of the same thing, kind of put a spotlight on him. I thought it was pretty cool. Here's one of the store exclusives that a lot of people like to hunt down too. Let's see. This was out of a store out of Orlando. Got the heads on spikes and all that. Really cool stuff. And very affordable. They'll sell it for like $12.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, let's see. The cost of, say, just backing.
Oh, yeah.
This is only $5. You can get issue 1 and 2, or if you want the standard cover for issue number 2, $12.
Yeah, and it's no shipping. That's one of the things to note on my campaigns.
Nice.
I don't do any shipping. So
that makes it even cheaper.
So Luke just sent me a text finally. He said, "Sorry, man, I've been sick all day. Just woke up." So we'll see if he jumps on.
He's sick. Let him recover.
Yeah, well, if he jumps on, that's his choice. I'm not going to mess with him.
Yeah. And then there's this cover here. I'm probably not even showing this now. This is the, what would that be, D cover for this? And then
that would be D. So that's a Michael Watson cover. Michael Watson, he's live right now on Kickstarter with a book called Hut Shots.
Nice. Yeah,
and then
great.
We got the skull variant.
Yeah, and then so these are kind of like standard 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 150, 1 in 100 kind of thing. That skull one, that's just awesome. And that one.
And we have some good collector's tiers and stuff like that. And they come in, there's 2 different ways. You can get the poly bag, so that'll come with all the covers in a poly bag with a special print and a sticker, but we also have a box, like a collector's box.
Gotcha. Is that this one here?
Yep. No, one below that, actually. Actually, it may not even have a picture, actually.
That could be.
It may be the 150. I don't think I put the picture because the box wasn't finished. I think it's 150. And what that comes with is it comes with the box. It comes with all the covers. Let's see. No, it's not 150. It's actually it's 150 Bishop's Luke. It comes with A and B. So it comes with issue 1 and 2, but it also comes with 2 random store exclusives. So I'm going to throw some of those store exclusives. So there's 5 on the set, and then there's store exclusives. So we're going to throw 2 of those in.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you're really wanting to get in on this is a good way to get it from a collector's perspective of ways to get in on the Kickstarter. Or there's the you want to read the story, find out more about it perspective. You can always get in pretty cheap to pick up the story and be able to read it.
Well, and if you're a collector, I encourage you to go to CGC and search Voodoo Nations. You will see that we have 5 9.9s already in. So we take care of our books. We do very, very well at making sure they're taken care of when we ship them and stuff like that.
That's awesome. And this is...
Yeah. So this is the flats. I couldn't find the other stuff, but that's a spirit in the corner. That's the person you see with the skull and the skull cover. So she's pretty cool. That's the flats. That's not the actual colors. That's what's called the flats, but gives you an idea what the spirit looks like.
Awesome. Yeah. Exclusive little previews for everyone. That'll be for issue 3. And so you said you got those other 2 books coming up. So then
that spirit's in issue 2. That's why I wanted to show you. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
sorry.
That's issue 2. And like I said, there's another surprise voodoo priest that's very New Orleans based.
Awesome.
How many people do we got watching?
Drop down. I don't know how accurate this gets. It says 3 right now. We had almost 10, and I know there's like 3 or 4 other streams of people that I know going on right now.
Sure.
So who knows what's going on? And then I'm getting other YouTube notifications right now too.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. If they if anybody backs Voodoo Nations who watches the stream, and you just let me know, I'll do a drawing for one of the variant covers.
Awesome.
So I'll give you the list. Just let Sparks know and let me know, and then we'll compare lists at the end of the campaign, which is only 7 days away, and I'll send that out immediately for the variant cover. So if you watch this video to the end, like if you came back and watched the replay, you don't have to be right here, but within the 7 days of the campaign, you know.
And I'll let people know to go watch this too. I'll post it on Instagram. Come watch for a chance to win one of the exclusive.
Yeah, and you don't have to back for a physical. You could back $3. You don't even have to back. You can back for $1. I'm not caring about the backing amount.
Awesome.
And we'll give you that that store exclusive with the spikes that we showed. Signed by me and Luke, if you'd like.
There we go, guys. Go back. I'll drop the link again. I think it's still there. Yep. So it'll be in the chat. It's in the description as well. Follow the link. You can go back. You can back digital. You can back physical, or like you said, $3. And let me know that you've backed. Let him know that you've backed, and then we'll see who gets to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
People that already said, "Wow, this sounds dope. This is right up my alley." So I know we at least have 2 people that look like they're in. Firehawk might be in on this too. So go check it out, guys. Get your backing in on it, and
there's one more caveat to that gift. You have to actually sub to his channel. You can't just you got to be the dude. Right? You can't just be watching this video. You've got to sub. You got to like.
Yeah, and these guys that are in here right now, I do know are subscribed. They're people that.
Yeah, you're good. I want you to be able to share it out, and if any of our, my fans come up and follow later, you got to like and subscribe. I really like. We had a good vibe with Sparks. It was funny because he always kept looking at my table, going like, "Why is he at Scout? I don't understand." And then finally saw Cthulhu Invades Oz. You're like, "All right, I'll talk to him. That book looks cool enough." And then I showed him everything.
I think I was. How many times was I at the booth? Like 3-4 times.
Oh, crazy! And then you did a small interview with Jonathan, right? Towards the end.
Yeah. So his Kickstarter was ending like 3 days after that or something, like very soon after it. So I was like, let me do a little interview with you to just be able to throw some promotion out there for the Quicksand was his.
Right.
Firehawk, his Instagram is in the description.
It's Jesterlou, Jesterlou.
Yep. And I think I have your Instagram and Twitter and Luke's Instagram and Twitter linked down below for people.
Well, like I said, I'll even send that book out immediately. So the minute this campaign ends, nice. I'll message him, we'll compare it, and I'll send it out immediately. So no big deal.
Awesome. Yeah, spread the word too. If people are interested in this and want to get on from the collector's perspective, that's a cool way to get in.
Yeah, we always get very cool variants, like Stanyak's very big. Michael Watson, you may not know him now, but he's got a lot of things lined up. Towards the end of the year, you'll see what's the stuff. Hey, thank you, Jason. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that you just back for the digital. We'll put you in the drawing.
Awesome. Yeah, Jason.
And Sparks is in the drawing too. He backed, so he's going to be in the drawing, just so you know. All disclosure. Oh wait, did you sub to your own channel?
Am I? I don't think I can actually. No, we'll keep it for the people in the chat and that are watching. I want them to be able to get something for back end supporting.
Well, Jason, you're not getting the digital until the end of the campaign, so you still got a little bit to wait. But unless you find, like I said, if you find me on Twitter, there is a hidden link in my MailChimp of first issue. And
Twitter link down below. So go ahead and get yourself over there.
Just find it. Yeah, just it's not hard. Just do a quick search for the thing that says MailChimp. Click in the MailChimp, find it.
And so with the Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies also having wrapped up, is there plans to do like a collected edition of that? Or
yeah, we'll do that at the end of the year. We're gonna add another basically issues worth of stuff to it. Okay. I've asked some of my friends. I've asked some of my friends who. Oh, true. But to look at Twitter. Yeah, go nuts, bro. So I asked some of my friends who've done something. So Jonathan Hendricks, which you know from Recount and stuff, he did a backup. He did the biggest backup, which is 8 pages. There's a guy named Dan Smith. He does a book called Worms That Crawl, which is really good. One of the cool things. So my wife is a comic book writer. She does all my editing, but she's going to write a story. But her artist is going to be the wife of the guy who does Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies. She does a manga out in Indonesia. So that's going to be super cool. Like the wives are going to get together and do a story. And then we have another gentleman by the name of Chuck Pinu. Chuck has worked he does Cat Dad and Supermom for Scoot, which is Scout Product. He's done stuff. Yeah, he does stuff. He does Tragedy, which is live. He's done a whole bunch of things for Antarctic, all sorts of stuff. He's doing a biker gang story. So all those are going to be added. So another issue story all together. And that story actually ties in to the whole thing.
Awesome. Yeah, and so I love the fact that Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies is almost literally what the story is about at the start. Literally, they got 4 dead bodies and the car broke down. More to it to why they have those dead bodies, but this is great.
I like to name my titles accurately, right? You don't get surprised, right? Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies. They broke down 4 dead bodies. We're going to visit voodoo in multiple nations, Voodoo Nations. Cthulhu will invade Oz.
Yep. Yeah. I think everything is straight to it. There's no mystery to the.
I learned that from James Tierney. Department of Truth. That makes sense to me. Something killing the children. I get it.
Yeah.
Nice house on the lake, though. I was surprised. That was not what I was expecting.
That was not a very nice house on
the
lake.
Was not a nice house. The house is nice, but why they're there, not so nice.
Yeah. That was an excellent read too.
Wasn't it? Like, blown away.
Yeah.
This year has been amazing. Nocturna was really good. Department of Truth was at the beginning of the year. I guess that was last year, right?
Yeah, that was last year. But even so, like continuing with that, Shadecraft.
Yeah, there's you Promised Us Darkness. It was really good. Lots of really good stuff this year in the indie. So the Recount was all this year. Like lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. Witch Blood, that was a good one. I've got a couple on my wall.
Yeah, I like your wall. I like your wall there.
My indie wall. Kind of random stuff here. Something's Killing Children mostly behind me.
Do you switch it out depending on who's on? So like if a Behemoth's there, you switch out to all Behemoth real quick. If it's a Scout, you switch out to Scout.
I'll display stuff in the background like I got displayed. Oh, this may stay out. This is such a cool cover. But this wall's kind of been a work in progress, and now it's filled up. So I might have to start switching things out there.
Yeah, get a case that you can kind of slide them in and out, like as.
Yeah, these are blanking on the name. Wow.
Is it hard plastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top loaders. There we go.
Okay.
We got top loaders. They're just kind of pinned in spot, and they can come out pretty easily.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you got a spot right there too. You got that little small spot behind on the right side.
There,
and the other side too, underneath the CGC.
Oh, over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have the things that hold those up. I got two more I have to figure out what to do with. So one's going to hold a slab over there probably, and then there's room above too that you can't even see because we got Stillwater up there.
Stillwater was this year too. That book is great.
Yeah. Gypsy Artski's been having a good year.
Did you see the other day when he's like, I wish someone better would write Daredevil. I was like, are you serious, bro? Like, I will fight you.
That is one of the few Marvel titles that I'm reading currently. And it's because he's doing such a good job with it.
Yeah, I'm a Marvel guy, so I read a lot of Marvel. I read a lot of Indie and a lot of DC, but Marvel's always been my bread and butter, so I always, even if it's bad, like Amazing Spider-Man, I don't care who's writing it. I'll read it forever. It doesn't matter.
I was that way, and the Kindred storyline with Spider-Man was I wanted it to wrap up
right
in some way, and it didn't. And
right, it's still going on.
I dropped it when it didn't end.
Right.
So I was like 60 or so where I finally I stuck with.
Especially when you split off to like a 0.5 because there's so much story to tell and give us no ending.
Yeah. That's where but otherwise I'd been on, like you said, people were not too happy with the storyline with Spider-Man for, because they were teasing Kindred for so long.
Right.
But I was with it the whole time. I was actually enjoying some of the stuff leading up to that. And then I was just like, wait, it's not over. So that's where I dropped it.
It was really tough because Dan Slott wrote for like 14 years, almost 20 years?
Yeah.
Like, somebody else's voice on Spider-Man took you probably 2 or 3 arcs before you're like, okay, somebody else is ready. Because Dan Slott defined that voice for you for so long that it took a while to go, okay, this is Peter Parker. Like, I believe it's Peter Parker. Jason says, claim, I see you like Hickman X-Men. I'm glad to hear it. Only Hickman X-Men. The other X-Men are really rough, but I love Hickman when he writes them.
That's a whole rabbit hole that I'm staying away from because there's so much in the X-Men universe.
It's a mess. It's absolutely a mess. But the Hickman plot is good. Like the Marauders and all this X-Force and all that, I can care less. But what Hickman's doing with the island and you can't resurrect psychics. That's cool. Like more of that, less of all the shenanigans. No Hellfire Gala. Let's deal with whatever this is.
There's and here's an X-Men crossover and another one. And so I've stayed away from X-Men because it's like, all right, there's a 20-book commitment. And I'm like, And I was reading Marauders at one point, and I actually liked the characters involved in that story. So I was really digging that. And then they hit the Exoswords, Tenoswords, whatever.
Right.
And that's where it lost me.
Which, by the way, just fun fact about the Exoswords, it was a 13-issue storyline where they only fought with swords in 4 issues. Just, throwing that out there.
They had to spend, how many issues finding swords first?
Right. And they didn't really kill anybody because the only person they killed was Psylocke, who got resurrected in Excalibur. Not that I'm bitter. I just, point out things.
Oh, man.
But what do you think about the announcement this week, the Donny Cates Hulk and the Alan Ewing Venom?
Yeah, Al Ewing, Ram V, I think they're going to do a great job on Venom. I was hoping this was my chance to kind of stop Venom. Maybe we'll take a little break from Venom, but it's back in November, and that's not much of a break. So that one's going to be... That's a good team. Ram V's been doing such an excellent job on projects like Layla Starr. I've heard the Swamp Thing stuff he's been doing has been great.
The Swamp Thing stuff is fantastic, yeah.
And then Al Ewing did Hulk already. That run was been excellent from everything. And then I'll show you the top of my wall here. We Only Find Them When They're Dead is up there in some of my top
Yeah, so here's my struggle. I'm actually thinking about dropping that book. Try to convince me not to, because I enjoyed 1 through 6, and I read 7. I was like, this is kind of more of the same. Like, I feel like all I need to know or care about this universe is done. Convince me.
I want to know. Okay, so is he the god though?
And I don't care.
How did that happen? Like, how? See, that's what's got me like really still hooked on everything, and I want to know, is Captain Malick, is he that god that looks like him?
Right.
And so if that's the case, then how are these gods made, and that they're always finding them when they're dead? Like, that whole, like, how does point A get to point B? Because I feel like this arc may get us there. And I don't know if that's then going to be the end of the storyline, and that kind of wraps the universe up with, all right, now we know where the gods come from and why we only find them when they're dead, which is that's another great title that kind of tells you what's going on. Yeah, we're only finding.
I mean, you don't even get to get a cover in that book because the title's so big. Like, that's what it does.
I love this text style though. Like, the issue coming up, the text on that one, the way that it's stylized is just really cool. And I think Simone,
I'm struggling with it because I don't. It's not that I. Go ahead.
Oh, just the art. It's like Simone DeMeo. Like, it's made for space art. Like.
Oh yeah. Especially when you compare it to like Sea of Stars, which I really, really enjoyed as well.
Yeah.
But they have such drastic different space, but they're so beautiful. Like, you can look at those pages over and over again and get something else out of them. And this feels like a weirdly shot anime, like a stylish anime, which is kind of cool. But it's not written at all like an anime. It's written like a regular American comic. So I do like that about it. But I'm hyped for Kate's and Hulk, but I think even more Otley on it. True?
Otley's art. I mean, Otley's art carried he was on Spider-Man at the start, right?
He was, yeah. He was the big deal to get Spider-Man, right? When Invincible artist is blah blah blah. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm trying to stay away from like getting into other characters that I'm not currently reading, like Hulk. And so I think for me, I think that's really cool. I think Kate's will.
But here's the thing. When he first said that he was taking a break, he said him and Stegman were working on something Marvel related. So there's got to be another announcement.
Yeah, there's something else out there. They may still be working on the first bit of it, and then we'll get a later announcement.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because we had Donny Cates. It's funny because we had Donny Cates on Guardians, and then Alan Ewing took it over. And now Venom, like, apparently Donny Cates, he paves the way and then he gives it to Alan Ewing.
They've been kind of just trading it back and forth.
Thanks, Lewis.
Oh yeah, thanks, Lewis. I know he's always lurking while taking care of the kids.
No, we've got you. I'll figure it. We'll figure it out again. Just make sure Sparks knows. I got the 2, Jason, and I got Lewis.
There was something interesting, actually. So they had in the previews catalog for the free comic book day stuff for like Spider-Man and Venom, which is 2 stories, but they only showed the writers for Venom and the artist for Venom. Versus for Hulk and Avengers, we've got Donny Cates, Jason Aaron as writers, which that makes sense. That's both the teams, and then Ryan Otley and Ivan Coelho.
That is interesting.
I'm almost wondering if the Spider-Man team is not continuing on Spider-Man.
That would be interesting. I mean, to be honest, I really think Nick Spencer's got to go. Not that I don't think he's a bad writer. I won't say he's a bad writer because Kindred is interesting, but you're right. It's been drawn out too long. And it's cool that, like, someone's writing a book long enough. Thanks, man. Like, you'll enjoy Cthulhu Invades All. It's a great book.
Yeah, Lewis is going to love that. I think he's almost done with his story, too. Like, he's got to be wrapping up with, like, where that's headed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I think one of the cool things about Spider-Man, it's the only title, except for Thor, that really has an ongoing story for several years. Everybody else seems to leave after a year. And I think it's just because Jason Aaron was on Thor, and it was doing great. Just leave him alone. And then Venom, Donny Cates is doing great. Leave him alone. Mm-hmm. And Spider-Man was the third. I think that, but everything else has been rotating. Even Guardians of the Galaxy with Donny Cates, it was 12 issues.
Like 12 issues, and I was like, all right, new one.
But I would like someone who could really, really take over. Like I would like Chip. I think Chips would do a great Spider-Man. We already know he can do a great Spider-Man. But even Matthew Rosenberg, the guy who's doing Grifter over at DC for Batman Urban Legends, he did the Hawkeye run. Really, really good. I'd love to see his stuff.
That would be,
But you got rid of everybody over there. Nobody has exclusive contracts, so get whoever you want. Get Jeff Johns. I don't care.
Get them all. Oh man. So we actually met, like we said earlier, at Pensacon. Any plans for upcoming cons? I know you said there's something coming up in Florida that you might be going to.
So this Wednesday I'm doing a broke down signing for a local store at 9.9, and then in Orlando I'm doing another signing on Saturday with the Scout crew. So it's all Scout guys and me. You're used to it, but most people aren't. And that's at a random store. Let me figure out the store. It's out of Orlando. And then I'm in September. I'm in Daytona. In August, I'm trying to get into MegaCon. My table got taken away from me, but I think I've got it in, so hopefully I'll be there. Let me see the name of the store. The problem is David Byrne is the one who invited me, and we talk a lot.
So
I actually asked him today, hey, what's the name of that store? And he's like, I'm busy right now. I'll tell you later. Be there at 10 though. I was like, cool.
Be at some location at this time.
Right, exactly. It's only in Orlando, so it's not that far. It's a brand new store just opening up.
Oh.
So we're just
trying to kick it off is have some people there for sign-ins.
Yeah. If you want to see something cool from Pensacon, go to Comic Burritos YouTube and look up their chat with the Electric Black guys, because David and I invaded it after our day at Pensacon, and it is pretty funny.
Great. So you guys were on location at Pensacon and hopped in on their...
Yeah, it was after the night. We went over there one last time and invaded that chat for Comedy Gold. So it was good times.
That's excellent.
I don't know where the store is, but I'll announce it's in Orlando, though. So if you're in the Orlando area on Saturday, starts at 10. I'll probably share it on my Facebook and Twitters. But I've got Daytona. I'm looking at doing the New Orleans con, the Wizard one, but I have to see if there's booths available, because I want to get Voodoo Nations. I think it would do well,
Definitely. I haven't even seen an announcement.
I saw that they were doing one at Wizard's World there.
Yeah, let me see, because I haven't even...
Anything I can do to get back into New Orleans.
Let's see. So there is, at the end of the month, there's one in Slidell.
Yeah, but that's just a small one, right?
Yeah, it's...
So Wizard's World New Orleans is in January 28th to 30th.
Showcase Comic Con is what they're calling it. It's a store is hosting it, but it's at like a little convention center there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's January 28th and 28th through 30th, so it's in January.
Okay. New Orleans been very cautious with everything with COVID, so I feel like they may have just said, nope, can't do it this year.
Yeah, I think New Orleans, just because of the vibe of New Orleans, it kind of has to be all or nothing. I don't think there's if you've ever been to New Orleans, I didn't even go on Mardi Gras. I went at Easter, and I was like, no. Have you gone down to Main Street at Easter?
So I've only lived here since July, actually.
Okay, so they throw giant carrots at you, full-on carrots at you, in random stuffed animals. It's not like little candies. It's like big, massive projectiles that they throw at you.
I will.
You have to go. It's fantastic.
I will wear a hard hat and.
Yeah, they're chucking giant carrots at you, and then you're not sure what to do. You're like, do I eat this carrot? Do I clean it? Like, what do I do with a carrot?
That is true. That's yeah, that's an interesting thing to have thrown at you versus like Mardi Gras. It's like, okay, there's beads.
Right. Beads aren't going to hurt you. Beads is safe, but this is like carrots and like stuffed rabbits and also like it's muddy. Like when I was there, it was muddy. So these stuffed animals would fall in the mud, and like, of course, my kid's like, "Oh, I want it." No, stop.
So
New Orleans for Easter is just as good as Mardi Gras.
I'm looking forward to New Orleans coming back to life because I've only lived here since it's not been normal here. Right. So that'll be good. And actually, I originally am from Florida, so.
Oh, okay.
From like the Tampa area over by Clearwater.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't do that con. I have done that con so many times, and I have never made any money at the Tampa Bay Comic Con. They just don't like me. I don't know why.
I went to it once. It was okay.
It's a good con. The problem with the con is they don't charge you to get in. So like, let me revise. So there's a whole like area that you don't have to pay to get in. So like all the cosplayers and all the people kind of hang out there in the panel room, which is kind of cool. There's that. But then when you look into when you're there, you're like, wow, this con's really busy. But then you're in the showroom and you're like, where is everybody? Oh yeah, nobody paid to get in. They just kind of hanged out in the hallways.
I must have not even known that was an option because I paid to get in. I was in like the show area and like walking around.
But you buy stuff, so you probably wanted to get in.
Yeah, that was the first con I went to. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, and then Pensacon actually was the second con I'd ever gone to.
Wow. Are you trying to get
I feel like I got more into comics in the last like year or two, like, so there's a little bit of a gap there.
Right. Well, Pensacon was interesting. What it needed was someone selling modern comics, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody was selling anything modern. It was all like old back stuff, which is cool to hunt those things. And I saw in your video, you did find some cool like modern stuff, but you probably had to dig because I walked around a little bit and saw nothing.
I mean, between the 2 days that we were there, we had enough time to dig through some of those bins. But then actually, I think some of the stuff that you probably saw was stuff I got at the shops that were nearby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some of that too, which was some stuff from like last couple of years, and that was actually the more modern stuff I think that I found at the con, except for all the scout stuff and your stuff, and like in the con, I think that was the modern stuff that I got.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I didn't get a chance to visit any of the local stores. Are they any good over Pensacola?
There was one that was like a smaller shop, but definitely seemed like it had more indie stuff.
Okay.
And then there was a bigger one that was bigger than the first one, but I don't know. It wasn't quite as good as the like they seemed more like gaming focused.
Okay.
But they had some good dollar bins if I had the time to like sit there and dig through them.
Sure. Yeah, locally we're very blessed. We have 5 comic stores in my local area in Brevard, which is crazy. Like we don't need 5. But the 3 main ones, we have like the Walmart store, which has everything. Like anything you want, any back issues, they mass produce. It's a huge store. It's about the size of a small Walmart.
Oh, wow.
Then we have the hangout shop. So they don't have as much stock, but you kind of get to hang out there. So you can read. It's a really good vibe. They do a lot of store signings with like me and Jonathan and other people from around Florida. And then we have the 9.9. You can't find a single thing on their thing, but they want you to flip. They want you to bring it in for 9.9. So it's kind of an interesting store because they're encouraging the stuff that the other ones don't. They're like, oh, you want the 1 in 25? Cool. Like, let's see if we can sell the 25, get you the 1 in 25. How can we do that? So they're wheeling and dealing to get you those exclusives that you're seeking after without paying the big prices. There's no extra price tag on it.
Huh. That's pretty cool. It's a different, I've never heard of a shop that does anything like that. So
yeah, they're kind of, but the negative is, again, you're not going to be able to pick up a back issue. So if you miss an issue of Spawn, you're not going to find it because they buy literally what they need to get whatever exclusive for that guy, and they sell the others as they go, you know?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, we got a couple shops. I mean, I don't know the last time you were here in New Orleans. We got a couple shops here. My main one, they've got not as many back issues, but they're very good on like current stuff that's coming out.
Right.
And then there's one that's got just a ton of back issues that are so disorganized, but if you dig, you can find some gems hidden in there.
Right, because they don't really care about it. They just kind of threw it.
Yeah, he's started to be able to go back through, and he's pulled some stuff out and organized some stuff, but it's still quite a mess. And there's another shop that's got a decent bit of, it's kind of a mix. It's good on new issues, but it's got a decent bit of back stock too.
Yeah, one of my stores just put up a sign, and it's really offensive to me. It says, if you, we reserve the right to look it up on eBay. I was like, no, I feel like if you put it back there, that's on you. That's not on me.
Yeah. If it's got a price on it and it's on the floor,
right,
you should.
That's on you.
Yeah, the shop that's disorganized, sometimes he'll look stuff up on eBay, but sometimes he doesn't even know what he's selling. He's just like, yeah, it's out there. You spent the time digging for it.
Yeah.
For like a back issue price, which is like $4 or something.
Right. Yeah. I bought actually Invincible the other day in a $4 bin. It was in their noble causes. It was the first appearance of Invincible, and no one told him. So I paid $4. I paid cover price for it. That was a good day.
That's an awesome find.
Right. I think it's because everyone looks for Invincible #1. They don't think to look at the first appearance, which is technically noble causes. Because I think Invincible #1, though the first appearance does have a dick, I think Invincible #1 is the more sought after book than the noble causes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have subcategories of comic shops that I'll go to this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why those gaming stores like he's talking about are really, really good, because they don't really care about the comics. They have pull boxes and then just throw them in a bin. And nobody goes there because everyone's like, they don't really care about comics. They go to the other store. So that's where you dig. Find those. That's my advice for anybody who's hunting. Go to gaming stores, because they can't do both well, regardless of what they tell you.
Caution, they are more likely to use eBay.
They are more likely to use eBay.
Yeah.
But what you do is just don't look for anything Spider-Man related or Batman related. Like, look for the other gems and you'll be okay.
Yeah. The hot books that aren't hot, like that they're, not well-known hot books.
Right. Yeah, like a copy of Nottingham. They probably won't look that up. They probably don't know that that's going for like $80 online.
Just blows my mind. But it's a really good read.
Yeah. I was very, very lucky. I'm a friend of his, and I was just like, oh, I bought it. What? Why is this so much? And then my store, I have a huge discount at my store. I have a 60% discount.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to run a store for several years, and I brought all my customers over to this one store.
Oh, nice.
So I still have the discount, which is cool. But they were like, no, you're paying full price for this, because it's literally $40 just to put it on the shelf. I was like, all right, that's fair. I'll pay the $4.
Oh, man. Any other things that you want to plug tonight?
No, we got Voodoo Nations up. Like I said, if you want to back it, go ahead. We've got a lot of cool add-ons that are there. Like, your Lewis just said he got Cthulhu Invades Oz. And Lewis, he's aware, because he only backed issue 2 and Cthulhu Invades Oz, so he knows he's going to win this prize. So just so you guys are aware. So he's cocky, and he knows what's going on. So the rest of you guys
snuck into the digital copy on Twitter.
Yeah, he's got the digital copy on Twitter. But we do have in the add-ons a $5 copy of the first issue, so it's not that big of a deal. Or you can buy both for $20 and you get a cool cover. Yeah.
Yeah, and I dropped the Kickstarter link again there in the chat for anyone that's looking to do that. Remember, if you've for some reason been watching the rewind and fast forwarded just to the end, you can win a store exclusive cover if you go in back, and then message me and Travis and let us know. You have to be subscribed to the channel, and then that'll get you entered to win that.
Yep. So this will be the cover, and you'll be able to choose this version or the Virgin. The Virgin is rarer, but I know some people don't like Virgins. They want the trade dress. So you'll be able to pick between this or the Virgin, and I will send it to you the minute the campaign's over. I don't know how you want to do. How often you do channels? What night do you do them?
How often do I do the live shows?
Yeah.
Well, actually, every Sunday I'm doing a show for the Final Order Cutoff. Okay. So we'll know by then, I think.
Yeah, we'll know it, and you can draw it live on the air, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I'll swing by if nobody's on. I'll swing by real quick, and we'll do it together.
Sounds good. Yeah, I do that Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
That'll work.
So that one will that be? Let's see. So we got the 6th. So that would be Sunday, the next Sunday, right? Next.
13th. Yeah, because it's Saturday that it ends, I think. Or is it Sunday?
Let's see. No, it's Monday the 14th is when it ends.
Okay, so either.
But you know what? We can do it by Sunday. Sunday 2 p.m. That's what you guys got till. We'll do it on Sunday.
Okay. Well, yeah. They'll be in the last hours anyways, so they'll have to have gotten their orders in by then.
But we'll do it. I will put it in a Gemini box, all flat and signed, and we'll get it sent out to you. No problem. Awesome. And you can get the store exclusive, but if you look at the old campaign and you see like that Staniak or something you want, like we'll make it happen. Whatever you want.
Awesome. And looks like at least 2 backers so far this evening, I think.
Yes, let me check.
I saw it went from 193 to 195 when I refreshed.
Yeah, we got Shadow Rabbit Clay Guy, which is one of your guys. We got Jason. Shadow Cthulhu, is that one of your guys?
Unless they've got a different name on here than on there. But that is an awesome name.
That is a name. That is a name. Shadow. We like Shadow Cthulhu, so please sub and subscribe so you can be eligible.
That is awesome, and thank you, Jason. Thanks for backing, and thanks for the compliment there. I did see Luke sent me a message too. He's apologizing, say he wasn't feeling well, and that's good. Feel better, Luke, if you're in the chat watching somehow. Hope you're feeling better.
Yes, Luke, if you back, you can get a copy of the book. I'm just sending it to Luke. I'm like, this is weird. You already own this. I don't understand.
Well, thanks everyone in the chat for watching tonight and tuning in and showing some support. And thank you, Travis, for coming on tonight and talking about this cool book here.
Thanks for supporting indies.
Absolutely. It's what I love to do. So have a nice night, everybody that's watching, and thanks to everyone for watching the rewind.